Hello everybody, how you doing today? It's Rusty Champagne. We're back with you once again. And today I wanted to kind of show you a game that it's by no means new, but I would consider this one a bit of a classic. If you are familiar with Roblox, and if you've done anything with Roblox at all, this game is called Bee Swarm Simulator. And it's like I said, it's available on Roblox. It costs you nothing to play, and all you need to do is have a Roblox account, which you can set up absolutely for free. And if you already have a Roblox account set up, then this is one. I discovered this game. A friend of mine showed me this game a few years ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I figured this would be a nice one to kind of show you, because this is a game where you kind of start out with nothing, and you just slowly work your way up and get yourself better and better gear, get yourself more and more bees. The game is basically just about having a hive of bees and using those bees to collect pollen, which you then turn into honey, which you then use to get all kinds of upgrades. And it just kind of builds and builds and builds from you start out with next to nothing, and next thing you know, you've got all kinds of things. And the number of directions you can go with this game is you can go so many different ways with it. So we're going to just kind of zip through the tutorial here, where it talks about basically what you're trying to do. And like I said, you're going to be basically getting your own swarm of bees, and we're going to go and claim a hive, and then we're going to get an egg, and we're going to put it in the hive, and then it's going to hatch into a bee. And then we can go and actually, I'm not going to worry about going through this. We'll just kind of talk about it as we go here, because I can kind of show you everything. One thing I'm going to do here, I am going to turn the music off, just because that music kind of it's that same one over and over again. So that does get to be a bit much. So when we first start out this game, so we're going to walk up to a hive here. We're going to hit E to claim a hive. And so here we are, Rusty Champagne. There I am. And we're going to go into our inventory. So on our screen, we have this little inventory here that says eggs and items. And we're going to get a basic egg, and we're going to hatch it. And so now we have a basic bee, which is just literally that, the most basic of bees that there is. And so if we take a look around here, we have this bottom area here that has a few different fields in it. And then we have some areas that are kind of gated off. Like if you look off just straight ahead in the distance there's an area there that says 5, which we won't be able to get to until we have 5 bees. And then up there we have an area that says 15 that you can't get to until you have 15 bees. And then kind of up there in the distance, there's an area there that says 10 that you can't get to until you have 10 bees. And then there's this shop that's over here, which is where you can go and get like your beginning gear. And then we have this guy over here who has this big shiny exclamation point, and that generally means that's a place you want to go and talk to somebody. So this is Black Bear, and he has some quests available for us. And so he'll kind of introduce himself, say, "Hi, I'm Black Bear. You look like a promising new honey maker. I happen to be a honey connoisseur," and he is. And that means, obviously, that he knows a lot about honey. And if you're willing to go through my training, you'll be making tons of honey in no time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to collect 100 pollen from the sunflower field. So when we start out with this little basic shovel. And we start out with this little bag that can hold up to 200 pollen in it. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to collect some pollen. Now, when you go into a field, all you need to do is just kind of hold down your left mouse button, and you will collect pollen, and you can walk around the field, because if you stand in the same place, you'll eat to the bottom of the field, and then you won't continue collecting, because you'll get all the way to the bottom of the field. So, as you can see, we made a big hole in the field there. But if you keep moving around in the field, then you'll keep on picking from like the top layer of the field, basically. So we finished that quest. We're going to go here to Black Bear. He's going to say, "Nice job. Here's a reward." And then he'll come and give us another quest. So at the beginning, you're going to be talking with Black Bear a lot in this game. And he'll constantly give you quests to work on over and over. So he's given us 200 honey as a reward. So now we can see up here we have 200 honey. And now he's got this where he says that the pollen from each field produces slightly different honey. And most people can't tell the difference, but I can. And that's why he loves it here, because there's such a variety of flower patches. So there's a patch that has sunflowers, another one that has mushrooms, another one with clovers. And now he's got a hankering for dandelion flavored honey. And so we're going to go and get some from the dandelion field for him. And 250 should be enough. So now he wants 250 pollen from the dandelion field. And this field in the middle that has like this giant puffball, that is the dandelion field. So we're going to go in here. Now, in terms of controls, you can hold down the right mouse button and swing the camera around up and down and left and right just by holding down the right mouse button. The controls are standard WASD to move around. You can do those things in conjunction with each other, so you can kind of get like a strafing action if you move with the WASD while you're moving the camera. There are also these things that kind of pop up on the field, these little leaves here, and if you kind of hover over them, they will eventually pop out these different treats for you. And those are, or they'll pop out these different tokens that you can collect. And now you can see at this point, our pollen meter has completely filled up. So we have 200 pollen, which means that we can't collect anymore. So now what we need to do is we need to go back to our hive. And once we go back to our hive, we can stand here and we can press E to make some honey. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go here, and our bee's going to go here and start making honey, and does this cute little dance here. And so the basic bee will take 80 honey per trip back to the hive there, and or 80 pollen, and turn it into honey. So now we have 360, now we have 400 honey, and we can go back into this field, and you can see this guy over here is making a ton of honey with all the different bees that he's got. And that's you basically, and at that level that's still kind of a lower level hive where all of his bees are at level 10, and then we get another one where the bees are at 10 and 11. So those are not even by any means end game players. Those are ones that are still kind of in the middle of the game. So we're going to go there. That's another token that gives us a treat, and we'll see what treats do in just a bit here. So we're just continuing to collect some pollen from this field, so we need to get 250 pollen. And these leaves will occasionally pop up in the field, and you can just kind of keep harvesting over them, and eventually you will get a token that pops up out of the field. So now we heard that ding, so we're going to go back here and run back to the black bear and turn in this quest, and we'll see what he has to say to us now. Those dandelions have grown out of control, haven't they? It's kind of hard to tackle the weeds without hurting the flowers, and I figure it's just best to leave them be. And then we'll get another quest. So now we have another 400 honey from him, and now he's going to tell us some more things. And he talks about bees, and then he talks about the 4 different kinds of bees that there are in the game. There's actually more than 4. There's basic, there's rare, there's epic, and there's legendary. There's also mythic bees, but he doesn't mention them here for some reason. And so the basic bee is the one that we have. And then there's rare bees, there's epic bees, and there's legendary bees. And all those bees do have different abilities. So there's all kinds of different things that you can do with different kinds of bees. And they can, as you get more bees, you'll see that they'll start putting tokens on the field for you. And you'll have ones that will give you boosts, but you don't get anything like that with basic eggs. So, but he'll give us a silver egg, which will give us a bee that will be at least a rare. So if we do a few more quests, then he'll give us a silver egg. But don't expect it to be easy, whatever you do. So now he wants us to collect 500 pollen. And as we can see, our pollen is once again full. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to empty out our pollen from our bag. And then after we empty this out, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go run over to the shop there, because you don't want to continue going over and over again with this small bag and with this small shovel, because they don't really gather that much honey for you, and you'd find yourself constantly running back to your hive to drop off honey, or to drop off pollen and turn it into honey. So we're going to go run over here to the shop, and we're going to see what the shop has for sale. And in this beginning shop, you have various levels of bags, you have various levels of collectors, and we can go in here and we can open the shop. So we're using this pouch that has 200 capacity, and then we have a jar which has 750 capacity and only costs us 650 honey, but that has basically 3.5 times as much capacity as or like three quarters as times the capacity of the pouch. And then eventually we could go up to the backpack, and then we can go to the canister. And over here we have the scooper. I called it a shovel. It's actually a scooper. And then we have a rake, which will gather honey faster. And then we have scissors or clippers, which will gather honey even faster than that. And then we have a magnet, and then we have a vacuum cleaner. So all those things will continue to gather honey faster and faster. There's also this helmet, which will help us to prevent head injuries, but these will use things that we don't currently have. So these are going to use pineapples and moon charms, which we don't have any of either of those. We have this belt pocket, which is basically a belt which holds some additional honey, but we need some sunflower seeds for those, and we haven't gotten any of those. And then we can have some shoes, which will allow us to collect some honey just as we walk through a field. But those also take some sunflower seeds and some blueberries, which we don't have. And then we have these strange goggles. I'm not going to talk about those because that's part of a special thing that they did a couple of years ago. There's oodles and oodles of videos out on YouTube if you want to learn more about Bee Swarm Simulator, including what these strange goggles are about. But I won't get too far into that here. But the one thing we are going to do is I am going to buy this jar. So now, once you buy a jar, it's immediately equipped. So if we look, we now have the jar. So we don't have to do anything to equip the jar. It's already here. So now we're going to go here. And as you can see, the game is now kind of switched over to nighttime. So everything here it's all dark. And it will eventually get back to being daylight again. It just switches from day to night and goes back and forth like that. So we're just going to go here and we're going to run through this field and continue to grab some pollen. You can zoom out and in with the mouse wheel. And this thing that happened here is a Christmas gift from another player. So that's kind of nice. And with that, we gained a few different goods. So we gained some sunflower seeds, and we got a royal jelly. And we'll see what that royal jelly does in a bit here. But we'll just continue harvesting here in this field. We're going to go back to this quest. So basically, we're just trying to collect 500 pollen. Now, you collect more pollen from areas where there are more flowers in the space. Like if we just go here where there's an area where there's like single flowers, then we're just collecting 4 every time that we scoop. But if we go into an area where there's a double flower, then we're collecting 6 because there's an area where there's a double flower. And then if we go to an area where there's a couple of double flowers, let's see if we can do it here. No, those are on diagonals. I want to try and see if there's an area where there's 2 doubles in a row. Yeah, so if we go here, then we're going to be collecting 8 if we stand here. So the areas where you have more flowers that are together, then that you're going to collect pollen even quicker than you normally would. And at the beginning of the game, that makes all the difference. But as you get later on in the game, that's going to mean less and less because you're going to end up having collectors that collect pollen so fast that it won't really matter as much where you're standing in the field because you're just going to be running all over the place in the field like crazy. So now we have our 500 pollen. We're going to go run back to the black bear here, and he's going to give us another quest here. So we're going to do this. So here's a reward to hold us over a few more quests, and the silver egg is ours. And that's right, no egg yet. We got to work for it. So there's another 500 honey. And now there are 3 different colors of flowers in the game. There are red flowers, there are white flowers, and there are blue flowers. And then if there's a bee, if you have a red bee, then it'll collect twice as much pollen from red flowers. If you have a blue bee, it'll collect twice as much pollen from blue flowers. And then whatever kind of bees you have, if you're working in that kind of field, you'll collect pollen faster. And so now he wants us to collect 600 pollen only from red flowers. And that's fine. So now what we're going to do, We are going to go back here and we are going to empty out our bag again. And then we're going to go back to the shop and we're going to get the next level collector. So that way we can start collecting pollen a little bit more quickly than we are. Because right now we're just collecting at a really slow pace. Um, and as you play the game, if you're playing on a server where there are other people playing and you can have 6 people playing on the same server at a time, you're going to have things like this happen where you hear that deck the halls music, and you'll have a bunch of tokens that show up around you, and that's just as a result of things that happened in an event in the game. And that's another reason I wanted to kind of show this game off to you right now, is that there's normally an annual event that occurs in this game that's called Beesmas, which is kind of a play on Christmas. So we're going to go here real quick, and I'm going to get my new collector, and we're going to get going, and then I'll talk a little bit more about Beesmas. So let's see. We can get the rake. Yeah, we'll just get the rake for now. So once again, now we have the rake. We don't have to equip it. It's just already here. And now we're going to go to a field with some red pollen. So if we go to this field off here in the distance that's red, what we're going to see when we go into this field, all of a sudden this so this ladybug is going to come out after us. And your bees can attack the ladybug. Right now we only have one bee out here. So if we had more than one bee, it would attack this ladybug. All of the bees would attack the ladybug. As you can see, the ladybug has like 12 hit points. And at the beginning of the game, when you're a little guy like this, ladybugs are quite daunting. Later on in the game, they will not be anywhere daunting at all. But at the beginning of the game, they're definitely a challenge, and they're things that you want to watch out for. But now we're in this field that has a bunch of red flowers, and so we're collecting red flowers. And as you can see, we're collecting pollen a little bit faster here now because we have a better collector, and that's helping us to collect things even faster. And so then we'll probably end up filling our bag before we'll have our 600 pollen filled up, because you can see we're up to like almost 600 pollen now. And again, we're just kind of running back and forth in the field just so that way we're getting as much fresh pollen as we can. And all these random tokens are showing up. Just because of things that are happening with other people in the game. So if you're in a server with other people, then you're going to have all these other random things happen. But if you're not, then you won't see these other random events occur. So it just depends on whether or not you're playing on your own or with other people. So we're going to come here. He's going to tell us about strawberries. And if we see leaves popping out like we did, we should collect pollen near that area, and that's where we'll get other treats, including strawberries. And there's a reward, and then 2 more quests, and we'll get a silver egg. And so we got more honey, and now he wants some pollen from blue flowers. And so we're going to go here, and now he wants us to get 1,000 pollen from blue flowers. And now we're going to go back here, and we're going to empty out our bag again. And now we have this really tiny balloon that we got that has 200 pollen in it, which came again as a result of something that someone else did in the game. So it's not anything that we did that gave us that. That was just an effect that someone else caused. So anyways, as this is emptying out, Beesmas. So that's an annual event that occurs in the game. It normally happens between December and March. It's been a little bit delayed this year, just because the developer's been working on some other upgrades for the game, some other add-ons. And so Beesmas has been a little bit delayed, but it's scheduled to start probably in February. And it's the Beesmas event has a whole bunch of different quest lines that occur, and you can get all kinds of cool things from it. So that it's definitely worth checking out. And the higher level you are in the game, the easier it is to complete the quests, because the quests are made for people that have been playing the game since the beginning. And so they're made for people that are very, very high level. And but the beginning quests can be done by anybody, but you reach a point as the game gets further and further along where the quests get harder and harder to complete unless you're a higher and higher level player, which right now we're just noobs here at level 2 with our one basic bee. Um, so we're going to run back now, back to the shop. And there are ways to speed yourself up as the game goes on, so you don't always run this slowly. You will find yourself being able to run faster as you get more and more power to your little guy here. So we can't get the backpack because we don't have the honey for it, but we can get the clippers. But we really do need the backpack because we want the 1,000 pollen. So we might hang on to our honey here so that way we can move up to the backpack because we need 5,500 honey, but then we can hold 3,500 pollen at a time, whereas now we're only holding 750, and this quest wants 1,000 blue pollen. So I think we're going to save up for the backpack, and we're going to go run to a field over here. Can we climb this fence? Ugh, not quite. We're too weak. Okay, so now we're going to go over here. And in this section, we have a field that is going to have another little friendly guy, the rhino beetle, who's also going to chase us down. And our little bee will eventually take care of him, but we only have one bee, and it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage to this guy. So we're going to have to run around and kind of avoid this rhino beetle, which, again, once you're further along in the game, these guys won't be any challenge at all. But in the beginning of the game, everything's a challenge. And if you get hit enough, you will eventually be defeated by these beetles. So there's a little health bar that's over here in the upper right, which will slowly regain its health. But you do have to watch out, especially as you get into enemies that are more powerful than just a little rhino beetle. So we're going to kind of collect here. And that gives us a blueberry. That's kind of nice. There's this area here that says HQ on it, which is it's a blue headquarters. And in order to be able to walk in here, you need 4 blue bee types to be able to get into the blue clubhouse. There's another one that's over on the other side, which is the red clubhouse. And there's some kind of hidden little tucked away coins here in different areas in the game. So like this one, if you walk over it, it would give you a ticket. So that gives you 3 tickets. And those tickets can be used for a variety of different things. I can kind of show you that here in a bit. In the beginning of the game, the tickets don't really mean too much, but as you get further and further into the game, the tickets they'll mean more and more to you. So we're going to run back here to the hive, and we're going to empty this out, which again, if we had more bees, it would go a lot more quickly to empty out your hive. Now you can buy eggs here, and that's actually something that we're going to do, because if we buy another egg, there is a chance that it may turn into something better than just a basic bee. And if not, we do have a royal jelly that we can use to turn the bee into something else. So we are going to spend 1,000 honey, and we're going to buy another bee, which we're going to click here. And the eggs do get to be more and more expensive as time goes on. So they're not always 1,000. They get to be more and more pricey. So we're going to go here, and now we have this egg that's in our inventory, and we've collected all these other random things just from different tokens that have popped up on the fields as we've been going. So we're going to put this egg in, and we're going to hatch this egg, and that's another basic bee. Now, you will, over the course of time, you'll be collecting these royal jellies. And these royal jellies, as you see, will take a bee and they'll transform it into a random, rare, epic, or legendary. So if we put one of these over here, then it's going to transform this basic bee. And now we have this commander bee, which is so this is an epic, so this is nice because it's better than a rare. And we will also do another bee here, another royal jelly here. We're going to transform this one into a rage bee. So this is a red epic bee. And there's a place where you can see all the different bees here. So up at the top in this little, it's hard to see here, so if I kind of turn this way, there's this area here where you can look at all the different kinds of bees. and you can see a little bit more detail about them. So if you kind of click on them, it'll tell you a bit about what that bee does. So this is just what the basic bee does. It tells you what their energy is, their speed, their attack, how much pollen they collect, how much honey they make. There's this gifted bonus, which is something that as you get further along in the game, you can make your bees gifted, and that will give you even better perks. And hey, anytime tokens pop up around us, might as well take them, because tokens are never bad in this game. And you can see these are all the different kinds of bees that exist in the game. So there's a bunch of different bees. There's about 40 different bees. Here's our commander bee that we got. So this commander bee that we got is going to also, I should be making honey while I'm doing this. So this commander bee that we got is going to give us these tokens that are called focus tokens, and it's also going to give us this token that's called the buzz bomb, which is going to help us to collect pollen from fields even more quickly. And then this focus token gives us the ability to get a critical chance boost. And then if we look a little bit further down, we have this rage bee, which will give us one rage. Well, it'll give us rage tokens, which will give us extra attack from our bees. And then it gives us this token link, which will collect all of the tokens that are on the field, which is pretty nice. So there's going to be all these different tokens that you can collect as time goes on, and you can learn more and more about those just by looking at all the different bees there. So meanwhile, we're going to go back to the blue field, and we're going to work on getting more blue pollen over here. And now this rhino bee, if we get to him, he shouldn't be as much of an issue. Hey, more tokens. Let's take them. It's good that we're in a field where we got people that have that Christmas bonus or that Beesmas bonus. That's actually kind of nice. So we got this other guy who's here in the field. We're going to try and stay out of his way. So we're just going to kind of harvest over here. Here's one of those tokens that we got. That's that token link token, which didn't do anything for us just because we were over here it was the only token we had on the field. And then there was that focus token. There's that rhino beetle. Look, now we took care of him. No problem at all. There was that rage token where it makes that crazy funny noise where your bee goes, ah! That's always fun. We're getting close to our 1,000 blue pollen, and we should be able to collect that before we fill up our bag here. And slowly but surely getting here. So as you get more and more bees, the tokens will have more and more effect. Since we only have 2 bees, they're not really doing that much for us. But as the number of bees that you have increases, then the tokens will start to do more, especially working together with other tokens. Back over here we go to the black bear. And so he's asking us if we found any blueberries, and tells you that blue flowers can give you blueberries. And there's one more quest, and then the silver egg is ours. And then now we have this next quest. So we got 750 honey for that last one. And so now he wants us to collect 1,000 pollen from the mushroom field, the clover field, and the blue flower field. Now there's also someone over here off in the distance, and we haven't visited her yet. And she also has a quest for us. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to talk to her. This is Mother Bear, and she has a quest for us. And there's several different bears that are in the game. So you've got the black bear, there's the Mother Bear, there's a brown bear, there's a science bear, there's a polar bear, there's a dapper bear, there's and there's a couple other ones as well out there. So there's plenty of different places where you can get quests in the game. And definitely enough that it'll keep you busy for quite some time. So now we're going to talk to Mother Bear here. She's pleased to meet us. And she's here to help us learn about how to level our bees up. So she's going to talk about bee leveling and the bond that you share with your bees. And the bees have emotions, and as they grow closer to you, they become better workers. And as their bond with you increases, they level up. And higher level bees gather more pollen and produce more honey. And they also have more energy, move faster, can defend you from higher level monsters. And you can increase your bond with a bee by gathering pollen from fields they like, from defeating bugs and monsters, and by giving them treats, which is one of the things that we saw from one of the tokens that we collected. So here's a treat so we can test it out. So she wants us to go to our hive and drag the treat from the egg menu to the slot of the tree you'd like to feed it to, and that will increase the bond by 10. And then we saw about the information about the bee, and it'll tell us how much bond we need to level the bee up to the next level. And then after we've done that, she'll come back and she'll have a reward for us. So now all we need to do is go back over here and feed a treat to one of our bees. So we'll do that, because that's a pretty easy quest. So over here we go. And we're going to feed a treat to, we'll feed it to the commander bee, because it looks like our rage bee is already level 2. That's what that little 2 there means, that bee is already level 2. So if we go in here, we have a treat. We will feed one treat to our commander bee. You can feed treats to your bee until they level up. So in this case, it would only take us one treat to level up the bee. So you could either pick a number here, so you could type in a number, or you can feed it until you reach a level up. So in this case, that's what we'll do. So we're going to feed one bee, or one treat, which will make the bee level up. And we have a little bit of a lag there. Okay, so now this bee is level 2, and we've completed a quest. So now we're going to go back here and run into this field. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, it's always so rough when you're at the beginning and you always run so slow. When you play this game long enough, you start getting you get a lot quicker. So now she's going to talk to us about how happy her bee is, and now it's level 2. And each level increases the stats of your bees, and if you want more treats, you can purchase them with honey from the machine to your left. And we're going to keep working to make them better and better. And so now she'll give us another lesson about bees, and so now she gives us a few treats, some honey, and a ticket. And now she's going to tell us about different types of bees, and they have fields that they like and fields that they don't like. And if you gather from a field they like, that'll probably increase their bond. And you can see when a bee's bond increases, you can look for small pink numbers that pop up by your bees. They're very, very hard to see, and I wouldn't bother trying to look for them. But that is a thing. And so now she wants us to raise a bee to level 3 and 2 bees to level 2. And feed 5 treats to our bees. Okay, so we can do that. All these noises, all those noises do mean something, and that's effects that are happening with other characters in the game, basically. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to empty out our bag. So someone in the game earned a badge, and that's another thing that they have in the game. There's these badges that you can earn, which the different badges will give you different bonuses for completing them. So, and there's like 5 different levels of badge for each of these different things. So there's a badge for collecting honey, a badge for finishing quests, a badge for battle points, and there's a whole bunch of badges in the game here. Let's collect these tokens. So we'll get all those, and we'll go back to making honey. So you get badges for gathering pollen in the different fields. There's just a whole list of different badges that you can get, which will also all give you tickets as you go along. And like I said, they'll all also give you bonuses that are like permanent bonuses and help make your collection that much quicker. So we're at 5,300. And we need 5,500 in order to get that next, in order to get the backpack. So we're going to go here. We're going to collect a little bit from here. This ladybug shouldn't be an issue now that we have the 2 bees. So I don't know why they didn't attack it. Get it! There we go. Now we got them. Those tokens that we collected, those are honey tokens. And those basically just immediately increase the amount of honey that you have. So they're just all basically just instant honey. So now we're going to just keep on harvesting from this field, get ourselves filled up with pollen here, because we need 1,000 pollen from this field, and then we need 1,000 pollen from the clover field, which we haven't visited yet, and then 1,000 pollen from the blue flower field, which is where we were when we were getting all the blue pollen from the last quest. So we're just kind of moving our way through here. Now we've once again filled our bag. In the beginning of the game, you just fill your bag like crazy. So the game can start out a bit slow, but as you get further and further along, you'll, as you can see, like the hives to my left and to my right have all of these bees in there. And again, these players that are to my left and my right, I would not even consider anywhere near end game players. They've been playing for quite some time, but they're not end game players by any means. I'd consider those all kind of mid game players, as opposed to an end game player where their hives are definitely focused on either being all red or all blue. So yeah, they're just kind of in the middle at this point, because it can be a really long journey, but you can get a ton of play out of this game, an absolute ton. So we're going to go back here to the shop, and we're going to get the bigger backpack, so that way we don't fill up our backpack quite as quickly. So we're going to go there. So now we have the backpack, which can hold 3,500. We can't buy the scissors because those are 2,200. But now we can finish this quest up and not have to empty out our backpack in the process. So we're going to run back over here to the mushroom field, and we're going to gather the honey that we need for this quest. And then, yeah, we're going to try and get this quest finished up, and then that'll give us our silver egg, and you can see what the silver egg's all about. So we gathered near that leaf. That gave us a strawberry. We're almost done in this field. We're almost at the 1,000 that we need for this field. And there we go. Now we're just going to hop up here. So now, like I said, we can't go into this area because we don't have 5 bees yet. So if we were to try and run through here, it says you need 5 bees to pass. So nothing will happen here. You'll just get stuck at the door trying to go in there. Now our bees leveled up. I don't know what we did. Oh, we stood close enough to the door that that was kind of a glitch. There's a spider in the field that's on the other side of this door. So this field that's kind of straight ahead there in the distance, that's the spider field. And because we stepped right up at the very top of this ramp, the spider appeared out of that field to try and attack us. And the person that was in that field defeated our spider, which made our bees level up. So our bees leveled up completely as a fluke, which we'll gladly take it. But yeah, that wasn't anything that we should have expected to happen. So now, as you can see, only one of our bees is with us right now because the other bee is tired and went back to the hive to get recharged, and he'll be back out here in a minute. And so now we're just kind of cruising along in this field, just continuing to gather some honey, or some pollen, which will turn into honey. Now the field above us here, just off to the right there, that is the clover field. So that's where we're going to be heading after this to go and gather our clover pollen, or our pollen from the clover field. So we're up to about 700 now here in this field. And the bees definitely help with gathering pollen because they'll gather pollen as they go over the field as well. So that helps to make things a little bit quicker for you as well as you're going through the journey. The beginning of the journey is really just about trying to get the better equipment, getting better bees, so that way you can move into the next set of fields, which gives you, again, better equipment, and then you can get more bees. And so it's one of those games, like I said, you start off with nothing, and you just slowly build your way up a little bit each time. So now we're going to go over here, we're going to climb this ladder. And we're going to climb this ladder as well. Now over here, we're going to have a ladybug and a rhino beetle. They're going to both come after us, so we're going to have to run around and avoid both of these guys because They will, if you stand still, they'll come at you, but if you keep running, they'll they'll keep on trying to they'll keep moving to try and grab you. So there was that token link, and that token link basically collected all the different tokens that were on the field. Now you can see this field we collect honey or we collect pollen a lot faster because this field, most of the flowers that are on this field are, or most of the spaces on this field have 2 flowers per space. So we collect honey from this field a lot more quickly. Also up here we have this brown bear that I think we can talk to him. Can we talk to him? I'm pretty sure we can. I don't think there's anything that stops us. Yeah, so yeah, he'll talk to us. He's Brown Bear. He'll ask us if we've ever heard of royal jelly, and we have because we talked about it just a little bit ago. And it's a special kind of food that changes a bee's type. And if you apply it to a bee's honeycomb cell, it'll instantly transform. And the great thing is that the new type will always be rare, epic, or legendary. And he happens to have a lot of royal jelly. Don't ask him how he got it. I don't want to know how you got it. And if you complete my quest, I'll give you some. But he'll only give us 1 quest an hour. And so now whenever we're ready for a quest, we can talk to him. And he will always give you quests for the entire game. And basically, his quests are always going to be kind of like this. So we're going to, and he'll also give you different kinds of bees. He'll give you epic, legendary, and mythic bees as you go along. So yeah, he'll give you gold, diamond, mythic eggs. And all of the quests that he gives you basically are going to be collecting pollen from different fields. So they're all going to say, like this one says mush clove. So he wants pollen from the clover field and from the mushroom field. And his quests will always be collecting pollen from a number of fields or collecting particular colors of pollen. And they'll always ramp up. So the next one that you have will be more than 1,200 and 700. They'll be higher numbers than that, and they just keep growing and growing with every quest that you complete. But the rewards get better and better, and if you do enough of those quests, you'll eventually get a mythic egg, which will give you a mythic bee. And mythic bees are always nice. So if we look at people's hives here, in terms of the different colors, the ones where it's a white background, those are rare bees. And then the ones where it's like a yellow background on them, those are epic bees. The ones where it's the teal background, those are legendary bees. And then the ones with the purple background, those are mythic bees. And then there are ones that have a green background to them, and those are, I forget what kind of bees they call those. Are they call them special bees? What do they call those? Event bees. So those are the ones that you get as a result of doing certain events. All the tokens. Please give me all the tokens. I will take all the tokens. Thank you for all the tokens. You'll also see some of the bees here have like a bright yellow border around them, and those are bees that are gifted. And there are a number of different ways that you can make a bee gifted. And we can get into that in another video if we do more videos of this. But right now our bees are not gifted. They're just generic bees. And if you have gifted bees, they basically also make your hive better and help you collect pollen faster and collect honey faster and give you all kinds of other bonuses as well. So now we're going to empty out our bag here. And we've got this 1 quest that we can turn into the black bear here. And we can then probably, at that point, we can buy our scissors, or the clippers as they call them. And we can also maybe get another egg so that we have 3 bees out here instead of just the 2. Because the more bees you have, then the quicker you can empty out your bag. Because right now we're just kind of sitting here watching our bag empty out, and that's not necessarily the most compelling content. But at the same time, we do kind of have to get the bag emptied out before we can go on with anything else. So we'll slowly but surely get it emptied out here. The bees are working as hard as they can. They're really, really trying. They're trying to put on a good show for you here. And we're just about near the end here with them emptying things out. So yeah, another basic egg would cost us another 2,500 honey. I don't have any royal jellies, so I can't do anything with transforming a bee. But we do have some treats. But we do have those quests for the mother bear, so we'll kind of hang on to those treats for now. So we're going to go over here. We're going to talk to the black bear, and he's going to then give us a silver egg. Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to get a silver egg from him. So now we're going to take the silver egg, and he gave us 1,000 honey, and he's going to give us another quest. And now the quests are going to become much harder. And if we do 10 of them, we're going to get a gold egg. And a gold egg always hatches into an epic or a legendary bee. So now are we ready for a real challenge? So now we need 4,000 pollen from the bamboo field. Now the bamboo field is actually behind that 5 gate. So in order for us to even be able to complete this quest, we're going to need to have 5 bees in our hive. And right now we only have 2. So we can't do anything until we get to 5 bees. So we do have this one for a silver egg. So we're going to take the silver egg and we're going to pop it in here. And we're going to hatch it. And that turned into a bomber bee, which is a, if we look here, that's a, so we go here, the bomber bee is not a, it's considered what would be called like a white bee in the game, because there's red bees, and they have a red background, and there's blue bees, which have a blue background, and then you have what are like white bees, and so they, I think that they excel more at white flowers. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me on it, but I think that that's true. So yeah, the bomber bee, it'll put bombs out on the field, which will detonate and help you to collect honey. So we're going to go here, and we're going to get a couple more bees. Can I buy 2 more bees? So 2,500. No, I can get 1. So we're going to go here, and we're going to put this into the hive, and maybe it'll turn into something other than a basic bee. We'll see. No, it'll be a basic bee. A lot of the time, it is a basic bee. So let's see. Let's see if we can get 1 more quest done, and then we can get our 5 bees. And then you can see what it looks like when we have 5 bees out here. So we're going to go out here. Here's the ladybug. We're going to take care of the ladybug pretty rapid fashion, especially with the other players' bees here in the field. So we're going to get this 700 field, or this 700, we're going to get the 700 pollen out of this field pretty quick. As you can see, that other player, he kind of wiped out a lot of that field here. So we're kind of walking this area where there's a lot of fresh field as opposed to the area there where the field got pretty wiped out. So we're going to just slowly get ourselves finished up here. And we got a strawberry we can pick up. So, okay, so we got all of our pollen from the mushroom field. So now we're going to move over here to the clover field. And hop up this ladder, and we're going to hop up this ladder, and now our rhino beetle and ladybug friends are going to be here to say hello to us and say, come here, I just want to give you a little pet, that's all. Why won't you stay? Why won't you let us pet you? Okay, there we go. So now we took care of them. They just want to be friends, that's all. That and just damage us and defeat us and things like that. That's they only do it because they care. That's all. So now we're going to collect the 1,200 pollen from here, slowly but surely. And a lot of the quests you get later on into the game are not designed to be completed in one set, in one place, in one session. There'll be ones that will kind of span a number of sessions. And so it's designed to have some longevity to it, just based off of those kinds of quests as well. So we're going to hop up here, talk to the brown bear, and he's going to give us some royal jelly. And so we've completed 1 of his quests, and 4 more, and he'll give us a few field dice. Cool, whatever those are. And if we complete 24 more, he'll give us a silver egg. So we can come back in 52 minutes and 13 seconds, and he'd give us another quest. So he gave us a royal jelly, and he gave us a ticket. And that timer will run even if you're not playing. So literally 52 minutes from now in real time, he'd have another quest for us. Oh, let's hop up here and get these tokens, because tokens are always good, especially at the beginning of the game. Tokens are good, no doubt. You want to get every token you can. Later on, it's not as big of a deal. They're always good to have, no doubt about it. But later on in the game, it's not as big of a thing. So we're going to go over here. We're going to get another egg. And we're going to get our 5 bees. So we're going to pop this in here. And we got our lowest level done. There's another basic bee. Gonna get all of our tokens. And we're going to take our royal jelly and we're going to pop it on that basic bee. And that turns it into a stubborn bee, which is another rare one. And it's a new type that has been discovered. And if we look, so now we just have to feed 5 treats to our bees, and that will complete the quest for the mother bee, or for the mother bear. So we'll do that as well. So we're going to go here, go to our treats. We're going to go to this one here, feed it 1. And then we can go to it again, and we can feed it 4, and that will level it up to level 3. And that completes that quest for the mother bear. So we'll run over here and talk to her. And then she will probably give us more treats and give us another quest. And her quest line is like maybe 10 or 15 quests long. And so now she's going to tell us more about our bees. And yes, if your bees are lower level than the bugs and monsters, then their attacks are going to miss. So you want to beware when you walk into areas that are higher up the mountain. If your bees aren't a high enough level, then they're not going to do any damage to the monsters and the bugs that are around there. And so you want to keep your bees leveled up so that they can defeat the monsters and the bugs that are in the area. And so now we got a quest that gives us 1,000 honey, a few treats, and a ticket. And so now she's going to tell us about rare treats. And so she wants us to find a sunflower seed and feed it to a bee. And they can be found here in the sunflower field. And they'll occasionally pop out either from collecting or from the leaves, one way or the other. And she says they're quite rare, so it could take a while. They're not really all that rare, but maybe early on they are rare. But as you go along, they're not really all that rare. So we'll see if we'll try and find a leaf, and we'll just kind of harvest around a leaf. And if we do, that'll give us our sunflower seed. So let's see. Now, of course, it's gonna make a liar out of me. Oh, here we go. Here's the leaf. So if we keep on harvesting around this leaf, there's our sunflower seed. And that quest that we have is to feed 10 treats to our bees and 1 sunflower seed. So we'll finish up this one tree with this one quest, and then I think we'll probably call it good from there. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go back and feed 10 treats to one of our bees. So we'll feed it to our rage bee here. And so it would take us 12 treats to level this bee up. We'll go ahead and do that. And then if you look at a sunflower seed, it will increase the bond with a bee by 25. So it's better than a regular treat, which only increases the bond by 10. And there are some kinds of bees that will like sunflower seeds. And if you try to feed a sunflower seed to a bee and it brings up this thing here that says until gifted, then that means that type of bee likes that kind of food. So in this case, you can feed certain things to certain bees and it will have a very small chance of making them gifted. And by very small, I mean very, very small. But it can make them gifted just by feeding them. There are other ways of going about it, but this is one of those out of left field things that you can do to make your bees gifted. So in this case, the commander bee does like sunflower seeds. So we're going to feed it 1. And as you can see, it says Commander Bee loves sunflower seeds, and so it basically doubles the bond. Instead of getting 25 bonds, you get 50 because they love sunflower seeds. So just about every bee has a kind of seed or food that they like, and that will make their bond grow even quicker. And as you get to the point where you have a ton of those things, it can be worth it to use them on potentially use them on leveling up your bees. There are a bunch of other things that you can do with those things as well. So it's kind of up to you as to how you go about using all your seeds and strawberries and blueberries and pineapples and all that. So yeah, each type of bee prefers a different special treat, and so she kind of tells you what who likes what. So they like sunflower seeds, and yeah, they'll gain twice as much bond, and then she'll give us another quest here. So we'll kind of put this into our quest log, but then we won't worry about doing it right now. So many types of bees, they have their traits, abilities, and personality, and you can get different types by transforming them with royal jelly, as we've done. So they retain their level and bond, but their other stats change. And so we can find royal jellies around the map, and we can also receive them as rewards for Brown Bear's quest. But she'll give us one, and that's kind of nice. And then we need to raise 3 bees to level 4, feed 15 treats to our bees, and use 1 royal jelly. So as you can see, we've gathered all of these things over here, a lot of them from the tokens that have kind of popped up all around us. So we have all these treats, these seeds, strawberries, pineapples, blueberries. We do have a royal jelly, which is always nice. And we now have 5 bees. So if we look over here in the distance, we now, if we wanted to, we can walk through this ramp. So we'll kind of take a look over here, our little guy with his little rake. So now we can go into this area here where we have the scary spider field. And then over here to the left, we have the strawberry field that we're slowly approaching. And then over here to the right that we're walking to, we have the bamboo field. And we have we got a little bit of lag here. And we have our tokens that popped up around us. And then over here we have, I believe that's the panda bear. So now we're going to have a couple of rhino beetles that kind of come over to us and say, hello, will you please play with us? And we'll say, no, we would really not prefer that. And so we're going to let our guys take care of the beetles. And these beetles are level 3, so they're a little bit more difficult to take out. So that one gave us gumdrop. The gumdrops do certain things, and those are always nice. We won't get into too much detail about that here. So yeah, then we have the panda bear, and he'll give us a quest. And so he'll talk about dangerous creatures being all around us, and we have to be tough to make it up the mountain, and our bees need to know how to fight. And so he's going to help put our bees to the test. So the first thing that we have to do, defeat 1 ladybug. If only all of his quests were that easy. Narrator says they're not. So don't always expect those to be that easy, because they're certainly not. So yeah, that's kind of an early look at this game. Like I said, this one, it's by no means a new game. This game has been around for at least 5 years, maybe 6 now at this point. But it really has a giant following. I don't know how many billions of times it's been played on Roblox. It's way up there. For me, I find it to be a really, really fun game. As you get further along in levels, things do take longer and longer to keep moving forward. So there is that, and so the game can tend to be a bit grindy, but there's always a lot to do in the game, especially as you're kind of growing your hive and getting it to the point where you have as many bees as this person to my right, and then these other people to my left. Because as you can tell, we're the noobs here, and the people that are over here to the right and the left have all kinds of other things that we don't. And this game, with as long as it's been out, there are tons and tons and tons of videos on YouTube that will tell you everything that you want to know about bees and everything that you might want to know about strategies and what all these stickers are all about that are on people's hives. All kinds of stuff is out there, all kinds of references, tips from pros. So there's no lack of material out there if this is a game that you would kind of find interesting. Like I said, it's a really fun game because it's one, like I said before, you start with 1 bee and you start with a little shovel and you start with a little backpack, and as you go further along you end up looking more and more like this person here who has kind of middle of the road gear, and then you can get to having even better gear than that. and it just all of a sudden you've got this hive of bees, and you're collecting honey in the billions per minute. And it's hard to believe because we only have 12,000 here, but yeah, you do get to the point where you can start collecting billions per minute, which is kind of crazy to think, but it is true, and you can do it. But that's going to be it for this one. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I wanted to kind of give you guys a taste of what Bee Swarm Simulator was all about. Like I said, it's been around for a long time. You can play it. You don't have to spend any money on it if you don't want. There are things that you can do in the game that will kind of make things a little bit faster. There are a couple of bees that you can get that do make things quicker. The bear bee that's out here will occasionally help you get double pollen, which is kind of nice. You have this one here that's a double bee pollen pass, and then you have this one here that's a double honey speed pass. And so you can get all three of these that cost you 1,450 Robux. I forget how much that is in terms of actual money, but I think it's about $15. Which, and then there's this Cub Buddy. So again, those are not things that you have to get by any means. You don't have to spend a dime on this game, but if it's something that you'd be playing for a good amount of time, then these things that are here, these first four, are definitely worth the investment because they'll definitely help to make things go faster in the game for you. But that is going to be it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this video and if you'd like to see more of these, definitely let me know because I can certainly do more videos of Bee Swarm Simulator because, like I said, I really love this game and I can definitely show you a lot more about it. But if you like this video, I definitely appreciate it if you would consider giving the video a like. And if you like the channel, I would even appreciate it even more if you consider giving it a subscribe. And definitely tell all your friends about it if they enjoy these kind of games. Like I said, I really like simulator games, and if I like kind of crafting type games. And I'm going to definitely be trying to get into more and more of these as the channel grows. So definitely tell your friends, and I would definitely appreciate all the views that people would give it. But that's going to be all for now. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I am Rusty Champagne. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you later.